Resume recording. Yeah. Okay. So at least so that we can have a clean video on Zoom. So thank you so much. This is the Business and Personal Growth Summit. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me, Pastor Maureen? Okay, great. Welcome, Pastor Ovie. Can I see you? You're the one who's always telling us off for not putting our camera on, but I'll let you off this time. Just pleased that you are here. Thank God for your life and everything that you do. And Sandy Kitchen, yes, I have seen your hand up. Really, really amazing that you are here. I know that we are going to have a great time. I think someone is in the waiting room. Yeah, I've got her, Gloria. Yes. So tonight we are here because of the Business and Personal Growth Summit. The last time we did the summit, we had a fabulous time. We had incredible speakers. We connected, we discussed, we shared ideas, friendships, businesses, and everything happened during that summit. And I had a fabulous time. And I know that most of the those who came had a great time. I mean, past friendships were reconnected as a result of the last Business and Personal Growth Summit. And I got to be invited as well to do speaking as a result of the Business and Personal Growth Summit. Of course, having clients coming through as well is one of the greatest things when we come together like this. The Business and Personal Growth Summit, the theme for it is how to use cutting-edge ideas and strategies to control your life, your business, and indeed your health and your family. Why is this important for us? I will talk us through, take about 10, 15 minutes to just let us understand the concept of this and also to move us into the arena of getting to understand why we should stick to this for the coming days, and also for us to be attentive in whatever, listening to whatever is being shared, because this literally can transform our lives and change the way we view things and change the way we do business, change the way we do our personal life, and so on and so forth. So my name is Beatrice Yakubu, and I am the convener of this event. I am a digital marketer as well as a social media strategist, and I have been in the space for a while now. And indeed, I have seen so many of us, do things in terms of growing the business. But when it comes to business growth, a lot of things has to come into play to make it happen. And I have been thinking, why don't we form a platform where we can all come together, celebrate each other, talk about the various things that we do in different places, and see how that we can bring that together to not just grow our businesses, but to expand in whatever we do in our personal life. Because at the end of the day, anything that we do in life, including business, is based off the fact that we want to grow, we want to expand. So now, in terms of what you are going to learn today and the coming days, you are going to be learning about the power of strategic leadership in business growth. Why is leadership important? Most of us are leaders. And I mean, there's a saying that everyone is a leader, and Pastor Maureen will dilate on that as the program goes on. But most of us don't think that we are leaders. But the crucial thing about leadership, especially, is when it comes to business, because you cannot do business properly. You cannot even run your home properly if you are not a good leader. And for us, as a business community, as a people who want to actually grow in our personal lives, we need to know what is it that we need to do. What is it that we need to bring to the table? What can our day-to-day steps be like in order for us to grow into that leadership role that we have been called to? Most of us just fall into leadership. So if you are a parent, you just wake up one day and you have a baby and you have to know how to take care of that baby. and in our homes, we just fall into it without actually having the skills to be able to do it right. And for this lady, Pastor Maureen, she has been in this space over, I think, a couple of decades now. She will introduce herself. And of course, her aim of a leadership is not just about business, but it's about consultancy and getting churches to do the business of leadership right. Because we know that most of us in this community are faith-based, are Christians. And we know that in order for us to grow, even in our personal Christian life, we need to take the role of leadership seriously. So I am excited to have Pastor Maureen to share with us, and indeed the other ladies who will be sharing as well. What else? Oh, sorry, I've just clicked out of that, so bear with me, please. Usually this computer is for Vanessa, and normally when I pick it up, I have to learn how to flow with it. So just bear with me on that, please. So the next thing that we will be learning, which I should find the my slide very, very soon. Then the other thing we will be learning as far as this program is concerned is going to be about marketing. Now, the thing is that in business, we need to be able to portray and to market what it is that we are selling. I'm just going to share for now so that I can look for the slides. I don't know why it's disappeared too. In order for us to be able to do a business right, to be able to get clients to buy whatever it is that we are selling, we need to be able to become, or to be able to communicate our message directly and our message clearly and succinctly to people who would potentially buy from us. The act of doing that is marketing. Now, for some reason, most of us grew up to being sold with things, being sold to in a way that didn't actually work well for us. And for that reason, a lot of people, a lot of us, including me before I started this, kind of don't see marketing as something, there's a barrier in terms of just getting yourself out there and getting people to know that this is what you offer in the marketplace. Now, there should be a way for us to do that without feeling guilty, or without feeling salesy, or without feeling the pressure of what if they don't buy from me. We should be able to go past that. And in this event, you will be learning some of the techniques that you can do to be able to go out there and talk about your business without feeling ashamed, or without feeling a fear of rejection, or without feeling that your business is not worthy enough. Also, in terms of marketing, Blessing will be sharing with you about influencer marketing. In terms of influencer marketing, just the social media aspect of things, including influencer marketing, we know that social media is here to stay. Whether we agree to it or not, it doesn't matter, because it is something that's already happening. And no matter how hard we try to resist it, especially in our community, it is not that we are actually resisting social media. We are resisting it in terms of using it to promote ourselves. For me, that is what I see, because we are on social media. Most of us really spend a great deal of time on social media, but what are we using it for? So Blessing will be able to, is going to be sharing with you how we can use social media in a way to attract people to our business, to attract people to what we do, and even to become influencers, because we see that, we read about that, we learn about that, but are we doing it ourselves? And that is what part of this program is going to bring to your doorsteps or to your attention as we go along. The other thing that we are going to be talking about is mindset. For me, I know that with regards to mindset, in fact, before I come to mindset, let me just finish with the business aspect, which is our ability to use websites and graphics to be able to promote our businesses. Again, one of my daughters, Vanessa, is going to be sharing about that. So, of course, Vanessa, for those of you who know my story, which I'll be sharing just briefly with you as we go along, Vanessa is my second daughter, and she, through what we do, has been able to hone in on the aspect of web design and graphics and how you can get somebody who doesn't know you that go into your website to be able to take them out of the journey of them either contacting you or of them downloading something that you want to give them, or of them taking the action to buy from you. These are all skills that people have in the marketplace that we don't have. And of course, we are here to share that with you in this event. Now, the mindset is going to be communicated to you by Linda. Linda Moyobi is one of, she calls herself the limiting belief assassin. So she will help you to kind of kill your limiting beliefs. Did you know that we use just under 10% of our brain power or of our mind power? That, when I found that, is so mind-boggling. Like, for example, if you think about, even increasing that just by 5%. So for what we are doing now, even if that will get you to just increase your belief in yourself, because before anything happens, before you can do anything in this world, you have to believe that it will happen. Otherwise, you are not going to take the step. And in our community, for example, I think the biggest thing that is challenging to us is how we believe. How big do we believe? How massive do we believe? Because I see that when I started this journey, even to write my goals and get somebody to see it, I wouldn't do it because I think that they will ridicule me. And for that reason, I will hide my goals. But I knew what my goals were, and I was, affirming these goals all the time. And now I'm seeing these goals happening. I'm having now more confidence to be able to come out and say that, you know what, this actually works. And this lady, she has been helping people to do that. If you are in the personal development space, you would have heard somebody call Napoleon Hill about Think and Grow Rich. She is the one who is teaching people about these principles of how to use our brain power and our minds differently. I've talked about Brandon. Now, attracting career, the rewarding career for yourself is another thing that we are going to be looking at in this event. Pastor Bola is one lady who has done this over the last 15 years, took herself, learned it as of necessity to be able to get to this point of helping other people to do the same and get an amazing and rewarding career for themselves. She is an incredible lady, and I cannot wait for her to kind of share with you, because what I believe is that in as much as I talk about business, it's not all of us who are going to be in business. You can have a fulfilling life, a fulfilling life, home life, fulfilling financial breakthrough, even without being in business. But you have to have that dream business career that really fulfills you, that makes you wake up in the morning and feeling happy, feeling excited to go to work, to meet your teammates, to be able to do whatever it takes that you have to do to achieve your life purpose and your life goal. Last and not the least is going to be a lady called Dr. Terry Truesdale. She is going to be speaking all the way from America. Dr. Truesdale is a Christian, and what she does is helping Christian women to think about holistic lifestyle, because whatever the case is, no matter what we are looking for in this world, if you wake up and you have a headache that you cannot even get out of your bed, all that you have is in vain. All that you know is in vain. And this is her mission, to bring this to the table for us to understand that taking our health seriously is an important thing that we need to. And also, the Bible says that our body is a temple of God, and we need to protect it. This is a vessel that we live in, and she is going to be bringing that to the table. Over 15 years of experience in this arena. I cannot wait to have her, and many, many more. Now, let me share with you quickly who I am, and then I will hand over. I have about a few minutes to go to do that. Who is Beatrice? My name is Beatrice Yakubu, and of course, I have been in this space for a while now, and my purpose has been for financial freedom. Forget about business. My aim is just to be able to have financial freedom. And how can you have the financial freedom? You have to do something. Either you have to be to save all the money that you earn. If you're a nurse, don't eat anything for years until and invest it wisely to make that happen, or start a business that will generate to you more money. And here is my story. I have been a nurse for years. I cannot even count the number of years now, over a couple of decades now. I was a nurse at the age of 21, and exciting at that, because since I was a child, I've always wanted to be a nurse. And it was nursing that brought me into the United Kingdom. But I soon realized that I was exhausted. Like, you are working forever. And where are my nurses here? If you're a nurse, let me hear you, see your hand. Or if you are related to a nurse for that matter, let me hear you, see you in the comment. Yes. Yes, forever working. We are never having any time. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I can see your hand. You know what it is? Over 13 hours of a shift, you are doing the shift over and over and over again. Now, it is good that we are, energetic enough to do that. But as time goes on, remember, it is your body that you're using to do this, and earning this money that won't even stay, because you don't know. In my case, I didn't know how to even manage the money. It's not that I wasn't making good money, but if you don't know how to make the money, you just make them and then spend. But more importantly, my children was my priority. Now, no time to stay with them. And if you have lived in Africa before, you know how nice it is to have a child. My firstborn, when I had her, it was a breeze. And then until I got here, second one, oh my goodness, it wasn't easy, because you're so alone. So you're juggling work and husband and children and home and everything. And then you'd realize, after all that, those children are going to finish school with this kind of debt. And this is from BBC website. I got this slip from 50,000 after all that work. For me, it was just like, seriously, I need to be doing something. And that's what led me to start looking for opportunities. Now, Caroline Myers, most of you will know her. I just saw her on TV. That's all. I saw her on Secret Millionaire program. It was an old program, but I did not know. I was so excited, I couldn't even be bothered which year it was done. I was excited to see a fellow Black woman. I was excited to see a young woman. And I was excited to see a mother actually living in the UK and not just striving like most of us do. And again, going back to the question of belief, if you believe you can do something, guess what? You are going to rise up and do it. And when I read about her, I just really felt like, wow, if she can do it, let me try, even if I'm not able to, but I will try. And that's how I got to go for business events, and then eventually decided to do social media marketing, mainly because I wanted to get my children involved. What did I do? Time, money, commitment, determination, you name it. And this lady, I always show her on my story, because she's a Christian lady from US as well. And she has massive following on Twitter. And at the time that I was trying to grow my audience, and I was following her every day. I will go to her site and read about Christian stuff, and she's a marketer as well, not just, but she is that type of person who does not hide her faith in the marketplace. And then one day I saw that she followed me. I was like, I'm done. This internet thing is really happening. So I actually paid attention to what I was doing. Her name is Kim Gass. She's an incredible lady. Fast forward, most of you know my daughters, what they've done so far in terms of speaking. I've been able to meet Caroline, and these are some of the clients that I've worked with. This lady is a professor at Yale University in the US. She is also a diversity and inclusion specialist, and that's her business. I was helping her to promote on LinkedIn, and that got her a big contract. And of course, she had to look for a team locally. It was like, but it was amazing working with her. Sylvia, some of you know Sylvia. Sylvia is a broadcaster. She is a therapist, and she is also a change maker, I would say. Caroline Marsh, philanthropist, secret millionaire, and Karen. This evening, I was just having a conversation with Karen as well. This lady used to be a banker, investor. What does it call it? Those hedge fund investors invested millions for people and making lots of money until she fell ill, as I was talking about health. And when she discovered that she had lupus and there was no treatment for it, apart from even just managing the pain, she was able to discover how to manage her own pain. And she's now teaching other people to do that. And I help her with the promotion of that as well. Now, rest of them are Pastor Obie, our pastor, you know her. Cecilia Harvey, she was here on the last time we did Business and Personal Growth Summit. She is the Oprah of tech. And, she is one of the trailblazers of women in tech. And she is an advocate for women to use tech, she calls it what? To ditch the tech intimidation, because most people are actually scared of tech. And that is her mission with her business, Tech Woman Today. So I work with her. Donia was the person instrumental in helping my girls in terms of, she's a parenting coach basically, and we work together in that respect. Veronica Karadwa is here. She is a business coach, a personal development coach, as well as a huge philanthropist. So these are some of the people I've worked with, and indeed, Pastor Joy, the last time she was giving me testimony, she said, doing business with me felt like moving your car from automatic to, from manual to automatic gear, because we're able to create this masterpiece for her, which has resulted in an Amazon bestseller book. I'm really grateful to be able to support her in that direction. So in a nutshell, that is me, and these are the speaking platforms I have been part of so far, and a lot more. That is it with me. If you didn't know who I am, some of you have heard me before, you have heard this story before, but indeed it is important that we keep reminding ourselves where we started from, because sometimes as I'm speaking like this, someone might be listening and think, and I often hear that, I can't speak. The point is that nobody started from being able to be fluent. I can't say that I've arrived yet. I am still in learning, but of course it has taken a journey, and I just wanted to paint that for everyone to see. Now, thank you so much. Who has found value with that so far? Let me see your hand, and then I will introduce our amazing speaker. So I'm gonna unshare and then introduce Pastor Maureen very soon. So send me your comments if you have any comment about what I have shared so far. I'll be delighted to hear from you, and or send me any question that you have. Great. So I'm going to do a brief introduction of Pastor Maureen. Just give me a moment to bring out her bio because this lady has done so much as far as business is concerned, as far as ministry is concerned, as far as just helping us to empower ourselves. For me, it's amazing to see when, one person just kind of do a lot of things like that is incredible. So Pastor Maureen is a leadership coach and charity consultant who applies biblical principles to help her problem-solving solution. She is the founder and director of Right Impression Limited. In fact, Right Impression, if you see this lady's creatives, you know that the Right Impression is, she's on top of her game as far as that is concerned. Amazing. She's a management consulting firm. Right Impression is a management consulting firm. She provides expert advice on forming organizations and guidance on creating daily operational systems and procedures. She is passionate about promoting a culture of excellence in organizations. In her free time, she mentors and coaches young people to identify clear career path into employment or entrepreneurship. Pastor Maureen is also passionate about helping others achieve their purpose, whether delivering training to busy executive, business leaders, church leaders, trustees, entrepreneurs, or aspiring career professionals. She remains committed to her mission to equip, encourage, and empower others to realize their goals and excel. What I will add is that she is the president of God's Own Women and Mothers Unite. Some of you have been on that prayer platform before. So ladies and gentlemen, help me with a round of applause to welcome Pastor Maureen to the podium. Okay, so I'm going to give you, to give you the, what is it called? Sharing rights, co-host, yes. There you go. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I trust you are all so excited to be here. I am so excited. I've logged in 10 minutes before because I am just on the roll and ready to drop the things that God has laid on my heart. So I hope you're here, not just here, but with your pens and papers, because you are going to learn something tonight. Not just only from me, but from all the speakers, because we mean business. We know that your time is very valuable to you. So we have prepared. We are not here to joke. We are not here to waste anybody's time. What we want to do is give you speed. You get accelerated. We want to inject some life, some energy into you, and then you just take off. That's what we're here for. You know, as a woman of faith, as a child of God, as a minister of the word of God, I know that the words that I speak, by the grace of God, they are life. And what does life do? It takes people and make them act. It gives action. So that's what we're here. That's what we are about tonight. Not about beating about the bush, not about wasting your time. So without further ado, I'm just going to start sharing my slides. And we are in for a good time, people. We are in for a good time. You know, when I was preparing my slides, I was so excited because it really took me down memory lane. So I'm going to be sharing from the things that God has taken me through. So they are tried and tested. Okay. And what that will do is it will cut down on your time trying to go in the wrong way that I might have done. So, you know, when I was studying and doing my MBA, one of the things that our lecturers drummed into us was you are standing on the shoulders of giants. So every opportunity that you have, just have it at the back of your mind that you're standing on the shoulders of giants. What does that do to you? It helps you to look further than your own ability. Because if you're standing on the shoulders of someone who is taller than everybody, then you can see further than if you were standing on your own 2 feet. And I want to believe that God has imputed in each and every one of us who God has prepared for this platform, for this program, for the 3 days, that you're going to be standing on shoulders of giants, not because of us, but because God loves you. And God knows that you need this information. You know, the Bible says he gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So get ready for a feast of knowledge and inspiration and motivation. If you love what I'm saying, I want you to begin to go into the chat now and just give yourself a round of applause. Congratulate yourself that you're here tonight, okay? All right, so let's get on with the business of tonight. Somebody said super excited. I am glad. I am super excited as well. Hallelujah. Okay, so once again, I want to welcome you. Beatrice had already welcomed every one of us, but for the benefit of those of you who were not here when we started, I want to also give you a very warm welcome to the Business and Personal Growth Summit. Okay, Beatrice has done a very fantastic job of reading my bio, so I'm not going to go over that. I don't know, we may be able to give you slides after that, so you would have something at least to go home with or to sort of go over when we finish this session. So my topic, what I've been given to talk about, is leadership in business growth. Why is leadership key when we want to grow our business? And the aspects that I'm going to be talking about in the arena of leadership, because leadership is a wide topic, but I'm going to be zeroing in on personal leadership, okay? So why is leadership important in business? Number one, leadership is to a business what a head is to a body. Have you ever seen a body without a head? It's not possible. Therefore, your business, you are the head of your business. And our brains, number two, our brains are located in our head. They send instructions to other parts of our bodies to carry out required tasks. That's your role as a leader of your business. You send instructions, you give instructions. Follow me, I'm going somewhere. It therefore means that if our brains are not functioning well, if they are not well, if our brains are not functioning well, any defect in the brain will affect the performance of the body parts. If you are not functioning well as a leader, your organization will fail, it will collapse. That's why you need to pay attention to yourself. You cannot take people to where you haven't been. You will just be giving directions. People will ask you, have you been there? How did it feel? So it means that you as a person, you have to be whole. You have to be whole, spirit, soul, and body before you can now expect performance from other parts of your body. Similarly, a business, no matter the size, is as good as its leader or leadership team. I want to tell you something about business that I have discovered. People buy into you first before they buy your product or your service. They want to know, what's your pedigree? What's your history? What guarantees can you give me regarding this service or product? We've listened to Beatrice. We've seen the people that she's worked with. I'm sure just listening to that alone and seeing her pedigree, maybe you were doubting at first. By the time you saw the kind of people she worked with, I'm sure she had grown in your perception of who she was. If you had thought that, okay, let me just come, you look at the kind of people she's worked with, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I want her to be in my contact. Perhaps she's even worked with some people you're secretly wondering how you can ever reach them. That's how it works. And that's what personal leadership is all about. Before you step out, what are the things that you have done? Beatrice was telling us her history. She was telling us her journey. She was talking about the things that motivated her, the things that inspired her, and gave her the confidence to step out into the arena of business. So that's what we are going to be learning today. So, who is a leader? Like Beatrice mentioned, I always like to tell everybody, everyone is a leader. And this is not to, what's the word? This is not to tickle you or to make you feel good. No, it is actually the truth. According to the word of God in Genesis, God gave every one of us the mandate to take dominion. So if you're ever looking down on yourself, you need to change that mindset today. You were created to dominate. That is God's mandate for you. You were created to dominate. Now, somebody will ask me, if everybody is leading, who is going to be the follower? What you have to understand is there is a space and there is a place and there is time. I'll say that again. There is a space, there is a place, and there is timing. But every one of us, what God has given to each and every one of us is that potential. Now, by the time you discover the purpose of God, there is a process of growth. So every one of us is like a seed. That seed has the potential of being a fruit. But until you plant it, and it goes through the process of being watered and nurtured and growing into that tree that gives birth to fruit, it will just remain a seed. And so by the time you realize that God had called you, has made you to be a leader, then you begin to ask him, Lord, where is my space? Where have you placed me? What is my timing? And so when we all do that, when we all begin to walk according to the plan and purpose of God for our lives, you will realize that every one of us will fit in nicely. Look at all the planets. They're not hitting each other, are they? Look at all the stars. Is there any accident? That's what we need to discover. That's what we need to know. But everyone is a leader. But I also want you to know that the first person you must lead is yourself. There was something that happened in the book of Genesis. Cain killed his brother. God said to him, before he killed his brother, God said to him, Cain, sin is knocking at your door. You better watch out. But what did he do? He ignored the warning and he went ahead. What Cain failed to do was to master his emotions, bring them into alignment with the will of God, and begin to function the way God wanted him to function. But what did he do? Rather than work on the self-awareness that God wanted to give him, he decided to go on his own. That's what we're talking about. He failed to lead himself. Therefore, he came under a curse. What we want to do during this session is to let you know that you have the power to lead yourself. Don't ever say, I couldn't help myself. You can help yourself, especially if you're a child of God. The Bible says about the fruit of the Spirit. One of the fruit of the Spirit, one of the elements of the fruit of the Spirit is self-control. You can help yourself. I'll give you an example. This morning, I wanted to take a cup of coffee. And I felt in my heart, God said, no, take the fruit tea. I need you to cut down on this thing. I struggled a bit. In the end, I said, you know what, Lord? I'm not going to argue with you. I poured out that coffee and I had the fruit tea that God wanted me to have. And the peace that I had and the joy. So you can. We have the power to say no. Don't ever think you cannot. You can. Because you have the ability, God-given ability to dominate, to bring and rein in your emotions. And you will see why. A lot of people spend so much money on emotional intelligence. What emotional intelligence is, in a nutshell, is knowing how to listen to yourself, judge what you are able to accommodate at a given point in time, and also know how to relate with the people around you. That's what emotional intelligence is all about. So you have the power. And why is this important? Because I tell you what, business is not for the faint-hearted. Business is not for the faint-hearted. I was just having a conversation with my son, and he's got this business idea. So I said, it's good. I love your business idea, but I want you to sit down now and begin to tell me, what are the pros and the cons? Have you done your risk analysis? You need to have an informed decision. A thriving business is not just a pie in the sky. So if you are not able to lead yourself and bring your emotions into alignment, you will jump ship at the sight of the slightest storm. Peter, Lord bid me to come. He loved the idea of walking on water, but he didn't have the stability of emotion. He buckled under when he saw the contrary wind. That's what we are going to be addressing tonight. Hallelujah. So who is a leader? Everyone is a leader. The first person you must lead is yourself. That brings me to what I call personal leadership. I love the definition that Miles Monroe gave it. He says the best government is self-government. When an individual is able to lead himself, then he is worthy of emulation. Then he becomes a role model. As a leader in your business, especially small to medium-sized business, everybody will be looking to you. You have to be somebody who is decisive. They cannot be waiting on you for 2 days. You need to be there like that. You need to make swift decisions, on your feet decisions. It takes somebody who has taken time to understand the business they are going into, the risks that are involved, for you to be able to make decisions in split seconds. That's what you need to be able to do. So the best government is self. If you're not able to govern yourself, you cannot govern a business. You will remain small. It's not a curve. It is a reality. What this section is doing is to begin to expand you, for you to begin to look at yourself, begin to analyze your ability, begin to analyze where you are right, and ask yourself, I've been thinking of going into business, but do I have the stuff that can actually handle a business? Some of us, we are in love with the idea of having a business. But having a business is going from point A to B. But what if, how many of us, we have, those of us who have children, maybe you've read the story of Gruffalo to your children. 3 billy goats wanted to cross over to the meadow, but Gruffalo under the bridge. And he will come out and just Goliath and David. Do you get what I'm saying? Are you able to cross that bridge?
Oops. Okay. What's going on? Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see Pastor Maureen.
Okay, I think she's frozen out. Okay, at least it's not it's not on this side. She would be joining us very soon. But I will just kind of recap a few of the things that she was talking about. I'm praying that whatever is the technical issue will be resolved in Jesus' name, because what she's sharing is gems, is just so powerful. And okay, so her slides have gone. Let me just kind of pin myself for now while I dissect what she was saying. So some of the things that I jotted down was that in order for you to be a leader, in fact, before I do that, can people tell me what they've learned so far? I think that's the best way, because I was writing my notes and I can rattle that for you. But what have we been learning? So can you put your hand up and just let me know what you've learned so far, please? If not, I'm going to mention names, and those of you whose names I can mention, you know yourself. So please, let us hear you. What have we been learning so far from what Pastor Maureen has been sharing, please? Okay, so Pastor Flo, please. Yes, tell us what you've learned, and then followed by Sister Nancy.
Thank you, Lady B. We have been called to dominate.
Ooh, I like that one. Yes, we have been, that's a very, very powerful statement. And I think that if we would not take anything away from here and just that one alone, I have been called to dominate. When you go to work, you have been called to dominate, not in an arrogant way, but you have been called to dominate. And I remember sometimes you go to work and there are some people who are in your way. Just keep affirming this: you have been called to dominate, and your domination is going to be you being assertive and being that person that doesn't bring rift, but that actually bring people together. And I feel that is quite powerful. Sister Nancy, what have you learned, please? Thank you. Oh, Pastor Maureen's back, but Sister Nancy.
For me, is the foundational truth of leadership. It said the first person is yourself, knowing how to sort of manage yourself through self-awareness and, of course, and realization of emotional intelligence. So we have the power to lead ourselves as child of God, and through that fruit of the Holy Spirit, that will help us, which is self-control. And of course, she talks about personal relation and personal leadership, and the analysis that was dictated by Miles Moran, which means the best government is ourselves, is self-government. And I think this is a very, very, very good topic for me.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Yes. We have to learn to manage ourselves. And, without, I mean, this is our community, so I can say this without being biased. I feel that for us from Africa, this issue of being able to manage ourselves, our emotions, is a big thing, because most of us were not trained to communicate. And for that reason, we've bottled things so much so that even being able to just stay grounded when the floor is shifting is a big problem for us. So, of course, Pastor Maureen is back, and I will hand over the mic to her. I will put her, see if Pastor Maureen, nice to have you back.
Yes, I know. I am so sorry. My internet just went. I can't believe it. The internet just went.
I always say the devil is a liar.
I'm telling you.
Look, when it comes to
it was getting really juicy.
When it comes to these things, the devil will always try us.
Yeah, I'll just go back to the slides.
Yes, I'm just going to take myself off the, remove the pin so that you can carry on. I have given you the shared
all right.
access.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. No, the devil is a liar.
You go on then.
You know what? I attended this, one of the ladies I follow online, Patrice Washington, and she's also a Christian lady. She was doing this event, and then at some point she said she couldn't speak.
Wow.
She was so speaking to people's spirits to the point that she just couldn't. She started coughing. Wow. And then she just said, you know what, guys, pray for me. And then so people had to take over to just pray for her until she was able to get her composure. And she said, the devil is always in the way when we are ready to listen to impactful information.
That's right.
Of course, thank God you are back, and take over all
So we're just going to go into the 3 Ds of effective personal leadership. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for still being with us. And I'm just going to wrap up very quickly so that we don't take too much of our time. So the first one is the decision-making time. If you remember, I was saying that people buy into you first before they buy your service, before they buy your product. And I found a very interesting definition of decision. It says it's the act or process of deciding based on available information or data. Secondly, a conclusion or resolution reached, especially as to future action. Why is decision very important as a leader? It's not only about making decisions about your business. The thing is, why are you going into business in the first instance? Remember, I gave an example of my son. The assignment I gave to him was, do you understand the market? Where are you going to get your resources from? What's the vehicle by which you're going to transmit these resources? Like I mentioned earlier, some of us are in love with the idea of business. But what we need to do and what we need to know is there is a lot of work that needs to be done. So you may be in love with a particular idea, but you have to do your information gathering. You need to do your research before you come to an informed decision. And what do we have at the bottom of our triangle? We have data, we have information. Your decision-making must be based on your data and information. Collect data. What does my data tell me? I love to sell snow to Eskimos. But what does my data tell me? Snow is not the right product to sell to Eskimos because they have it in abundance. So you now don't say, but it's so easy for me to get snow and it's comfortable and it's convenient. No. The first thing you need to know when you are going into any kind of business is you need to collect data. Do your research. Don't go blindly into a business without doing your research. That is why if you go to a bank to borrow money to do your business, the first thing they're going to ask you is, where's your business plan? They're going to ask you, what's your business plan? It is common knowledge that only 5% of businesses survive the first 5 years of coming into existence. You don't want to fulfill that kind of prophecy. You don't want to be part of that statistic that didn't make it. This is part of personal leadership. How are you? Because if you don't get yourself together and get your brain out of the cloud into reality, you're going to make a shipwreck of that dream. Dreams are good, but you need to sift it. You need data. You need information that will lead you to your decision. And that will take you on a trajectory of success. Why is decision-making important? You and your business exist in an ecosystem, not in isolation. What you are going to sell, the service you are going to provide is not in isolation. We are interdependent as humans. If I sell you plantain, you probably want to go and, maybe grill it and sell it or eat it. So, it's transferring from one person to the other. What's your role in all of that? Your business exists in an ecosystem. Therefore, the decisions you make will impact you and impact your environment at large. So you want to know what's going on. You will have to know how to manage your resources effectively and efficiently. Talking about personal leadership, that's what it's all about. These are all the things that you need to know before you embark on business. Life is about choices. And as a leader or a business owner, You want to work on and sharpen your decision-making skills. And the best practice is before you even venture into that business, start to learn how to work with data, with information, so that by the time you are established in your business, somebody will not just come with a big idea, in quote, and you fall for it. If you have trained yourself to research and analyze, then it will be very difficult for somebody to scam you down the line, because you have trained yourself to always check if these things are so. Okay, let me go swiftly because of time. Tips on effective decision making. These are the, make a note of them, write them down if you will, take a photograph of this. Number one, identify the decision you want to make. I love it when Beatrice was sharing with us. And she said from her research, she decided she wanted to be a marketer. She could have decided to do something else, but she researched, she went on courses. That's leading herself. And that's why by the time she was able to make concrete and specific decisions, she's now able to help other people to come to that place where they can decide specifically what they want to go into. That's what we're talking about. Collect relevant information. So you need to begin to ask yourself, do I even know the decision that I want to make? Do I have clarity on what I want to do? Where can I get relevant information? Do you want to go to the library? Do you want to ask people around? She saw Secret Millionaire. She saw that woman. She thought, oh, that's part of the data she was collecting that gave her the kick in the back to embark on her dream. Identify available options. I always say to my children, there are many ways to get to Croydon. I'm just using Croydon as an example. You can either take the bus, you can take the train. If you have a helicopter, you can fly your helicopter there. You have to ask yourself, what is the best form of transportation within the time that I have? If you have 2 hours, you can decide, you know what, I have 2 hours to kill, so I will take the bus. Because we know the bus is probably the longest journey. I don't have time. It means I have to invest in taking the train. Why? Because train is more expensive. There's no parking. That has eliminated car. What I'm trying to tell you is these are the ways. This is the process of decision making. You don't just wake up and say, this is what I want to do. No, you have to gather information, identify available options, evaluate the evidence. Now the evidence is before you. There is a car. You can either go by car, rail, underground, bus. Evaluate. Like I said, is it 2 hours? If I have 2 hours, then I can afford the bus. 3, I don't have 2 hours. I only have 30 minutes. Uber. Okay? Learn this. Learn to evaluate the evidence. Then choose the best option. Then next, take action. Then you review your decision. Just the fact that you have reached that decision, you need to go back again and say, is this still working for me? Personal leadership. Just imagine if you are running your business and you left this to your assistant to be doing. One day she will take that business away from you before you know it. How many of us has watched this film? It's an old film called Pretty Woman. Not Pretty Woman. Is it Pretty? No, Working Girl. That was what happened to the boss. She left everything to her secretary. Then one day she couldn't make the meeting, and the secretary went in her place. And that's how the secretary got the contract that she should have gotten. Because she didn't bother to lead herself. Personal leadership was lacking. The next D is determination. Very swiftly, this is the Collins Dictionary. It says determination is the quality that you show when you have decided to do something and you will not let anything stop you. Now, all of us, in fact, I'm sure every one of us here, we have advised ourselves and so many people, don't quit, don't give up. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. Look, the first slide that I made for this meeting, do you want to know? I don't know where the folder disappeared. I'm telling you. I woke up. the funny thing was, when I finished, I went and I danced to my husband. I said, I'm finished my slide. This was like a week before. This was how fired up I was, because I'm such a busy person and I have my own program coming up. So I wanted to get everything out of the way so I can, I like being organized. I had danced to my husband. I finished my slide. Imagine the following day, I said, okay, let me come and dress it up, give it some jazz.
Wasn't there?
Lo and behold, there was no folder. Called him, my husband. My husband went late to work that day because he was, till today, is a mystery. What did I have to do? I told my son, I said, I'm going to shed a few tears just to relieve my stress. But I got back and I said, God, it has to be bigger and better than what I had done before. Yes, I am proud to announce to you, it was bigger and better. That's what you are looking at today. Hallelujah. It takes determination. I had to bounce back immediately. I didn't have the luxury of having a pity party. Ziegler, many of us know him. He says, I believe success is achieved by ordinary people with extraordinary determination. What I want to encourage us with is, we have the Holy Spirit. He's our encourager. I'm going to go to the next slide. I'm sure Beatrice is going to make this. I don't mind sharing it, so I'm sure she's going to make it available for people. Okay, so you're going to read. So I'm just going to touch on very, very briefly because I'm aware of the time. Okay, determination in practice. This story is about fried chicken Kentucky, or Kentucky Fried Chicken. Many of us have heard his story. One of the things that always, even when I'm feeling down, when I remember that this man, it was at age 65 that he came into a realization that, what, my life needs to change. I said, I'm not 65. I'm not even 60 yet. Next year I'll be 60, so I can enjoy 50s. I am still calling myself 50s, I said, this man at 65, so why should I feel like my time is gone? I'm just starting. If he at age 65, broke and penniless, began his journey into what we have today, then, oh boy, you and I have just started this journey. So I want to encourage somebody. It's not over. It's not over. You can begin again. And I've got here 10 real life examples. Because of time, I won't go into each one of them. But I'm sure we know about Oprah Winfrey. I will read about J.K. Rowling for us. The author had her famous novel, Harry Potter, rejected by 14 different publishers before finally having it accepted. 14. Imagine if she gave up on the 13th time. That's what we are talking about. Moving on very swiftly. What are the signs that you are a determined person? This one is self-check now. Ask yourself, do I have these qualities? Number one, the ability to maintain focus. Do you get easily distracted? The next big idea, the next big idea, the next big idea. They are doing, they are selling clothes. You are there. Look, there is nothing wrong. I am multi-talented and I have come to be at peace with, but whatever I go into is because I have done the research. I'm not going into it blindly. So yes, God gave some people 5 talents. So you can be like that. But what I'm saying is, you are not the person that you just chalk one and go after another one without establishing one first. That's what I'm talking about. Do you have good work ethic? It's not, it's snowing, I can't come and kill myself. Having good work ethic means come rain, come sunshine, you are doing it. My husband said to me, he said, you are busier than those of us who are going to 9 to 5 now. I wake up very early. I have to see to business. So you have to have good work ethic. One of the things, I remember when I was even growing up, one of the things, we used to, it was my mom, I think it was my mom that first said it. There's a tribe, look, I'm Nigerian. There are 3 main tribes in Nigeria: Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. Now the Igbos, they are people who delay gratification. They will have millions, but they will still be wearing sometimes ragged t-shirts. We see their equivalent here. All those people with beauty shops in Peckham and Brixton. If my husband was telling me the day he saw the car of one of the people one of our suppliers, he said he opened his mouth. If you saw the car he was driving, but when you see him in his stall, you will not even believe. Because he and my husband are kind of close now, there are things that he's told him that my husband will be like, wow. But if you see him, you just think, if you walk past him, you would almost even just ignore him, not knowing what he's sitting on. Are you able to delay gratification? Or are you like, oh, I've made my first million, I need to splash? That's when you need to take root and establish. That's not the time to splash. Money has wings. Are you resilient? Being able to be resilient. So some of us here begin to ask yourself, which one do I fall into? Do I have these qualities, or do I need to begin to work on them? That's the essence of bringing this out to us. You ask yourself, am I open to change? Or even though the data is telling me something, I'm like, no. This is what I know how to do. Retrain, if you have to retrain. That's what Beatrice did. Oh, what she said when she was young, since when she was young, she wanted to be a nurse. Then she realized it's not working. What did she do? What did she do rather? She retrained and changed course. That's what you need to do. This is part of personal leadership. Are you able to lead yourself to where you ought to be? Going to the next slide. Don't worry, we will make this available to you.
Amen.
I'm very conscious of time. I don't want to waste our time. The last D is discipline. Sorry, I've got braces, so sometimes my words don't come out properly. And of course, I'm so excited that, definition of discipline, the ability to keep working at something that is difficult. Like I said, do you have good work ethic? Or do you think, when I wanted to sell this thing, the business was lucrative, but now, seriously? Is that what is going on? Or is it that you just don't have the stickability? You have to ask yourself, are you jumping ship at the first sight of opposition, of difficulty? These are the things that will help you survive and to thrive in your personal business. And I've got a few quotations here that you will be reading later on. What are the benefits of self-discipline? It helps to increase your inner strength. There's a prayer I love from the Bible. And I pray that God, you will strengthen me in the inner man with might by the Holy Spirit. We need inner strength. Something that kicks in when there is opposition. That's what kicked in when David saw Goliath. Everybody, can you imagine? Soldiers with big muscle were trembling. This little boy said, no way. I've seen God do mighty things in the outback when I'm looking after sheep. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? You must come down. These are the benefits of self-discipline. David is a very good example of somebody who has led himself, personal leadership. He took care of business when nobody was there. He had built that inner strength and confidence in God. So when the major opposition came, he was able to overcome. Somebody give me some love, even on this chat right now, are being blessed. It enhances your approach, your attitude to life. That's what self-discipline does. It transforms a dreamer into a doer. Everybody can dream, everybody dreams. Not everybody do. Not everyone will act. Not everyone will take action. David had the potential. He could have said, you know what, this is not my battle. I'm turning back. But he took action. We are almost there. This is my last slide. Tips on building self-discipline. So, you will notice that what I have done here is not just telling you you don't have this. We are also giving you solutions. We are telling you this is the way to do it. Tips on building self-discipline. Start small. Rome was not built in a day. Establish your presence first. You may have 2, 3 business ideas. Establish one first. Remember what I said when we were going to start. People buy into you before buying your products and services. So if you establish yourself very well, properly, you'll be able to branch out into other segments, into other branches, because you have established your presence. We all look at Virgin. Virgin did not start flight train at the same time. He started with HMV. He started with something small. Even Dyson today, they've gone into hair dryer, they've gone into everything. What did he start with? Hoover. What do you call it?
Vacuum cleaner.
That's what he started with. Vacuum cleaner. Then he went to hand dryer. He was using the replicable idea. So start small. Don't say I'm going to conquer before the people conquered Mount Everest, they started with small hills and mountains. Then they grew to say, okay, we will raise the bar. Eliminate bad habits. Develop good ones. I always say to my children, if you don't exercise yourself in obedience in little things, the day when you need to be obedient in a big thing, you will not have the inner strength to do so. Start small. Life is about obeying instruction. I always say to my children, if you don't learn to obey your parents, when you go out, you won't obey your teacher. You won't obey your boss when you get to work. And what will happen? It's true. You start small. That's why God has placed family to learn social skills at home, in the safety of your home. So that once now you have developed good habits, you are then going. That's why they say charity begins at home. Exercise regularly. Even the Bible says physical exercise profits little. That little that has profit, take it. Try to walk, even if it's 3 times a day, even if it's just round the block. One day you will tell yourself, I need to go further. Establish a specific goal-setting process. Start small. You may wake up in a day and say, okay, I have 3 tasks. At least one I must complete. Don't stress yourself. Step out of your comfort zone. Love change. Limit social media and junk food. I won't say any more than that. I will leave that. Practice self-awareness. Learn to listen to your body. You know, when I feel tired, I just put everything down. Everything, I put it down and I go and rest. I listen to my body a lot. Don't overstretch yourself. That's what is causing some mental imbalance for some. And it manifests sometimes even in the body. Use apps and tools. You know, I'm so glad that Beatrice has somebody who's going to encourage us to be techie. You know, some of us are intimidated by tech. We thank God some of us who have overcome. The other day I was doing some design. My husband said, hey. I said, yes. So because my husband actually does a lot of my graphics. But watching him and whatever has encouraged me and challenged me to, you know. So sometimes I would do something and my husband said, hey, you are not bad. I said, hey, I'm catching up. The first time I saw a computer, I was 26 years old. Can you imagine? Thank God I came to England. I'm sure some of you can bear witness with me if you grew up in Nigeria. We didn't have computer. I went for a computer training and I pressed one key. Everything disappeared. You should have seen me that day. Thank God for one of my younger friends. He was the one who helped me that day. I said, oh, I thought I'd lost it, you know. When I was doing my MBA and I was doing my dissertation. Again, something, you should have seen me when I went to the office. I said, you must get a project that I've been working on, you know. So I thank God. Thank you very much, because you will deliver some of us who are still fighting this battle with tech. Hallelujah. Then use affirmations. Affirm yourself. You know, I told us from the beginning that we have been made to dominate. I want us now to mute. Appreciation. I want to thank everybody for attending the Business and Personal Growth Summit. These are all my, connection links. By the time you get the slide, you'll be able to, connect with me if you want to. Now, I want to finish on this note. I want us to say some affirmations to affirm ourselves today. Okay? So I want you to unmute. Please, Beatrice, please, do we have your permission to unmute very briefly?
Sure,
Just affirm ourselves.
Yes.
Okay? So the first affirmation is, I am made to dominate.
I am made
to dominate.
Please say it like you mean it. Why are you?
I am made to dominate.
I am a leader.
I am a leader.
I am an influencer.
I am an influencer.
I am made to win.
I am made to win.
I have the ability to be at the top of my game.
I have the ability to be at the top of my game.
Let's say that again, please, because after this conference, I want to hear stories, testimonies. I am able to get to the top of my game.
I am able to get to the top of my game.
Amen.
Amen.
Beatrice, for this opportunity to share with the people of God. And thank you, listeners, for today. I hand over to you, Beatrice. God bless. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was okay. So can everybody mute themselves, please? I will appreciate it so much. Can you mute yourself, please, so that we can carry on. Having the last speaker is coming on shortly, but I just want to acknowledge this great woman of God. I just want to acknowledge this great leader who has poured her heart. Obviously, if she was to speak just her today, I'm sure the time would have still been worth it. Of course, we still have another speaker coming, but what we have heard today is incredible. And I just want to touch on this one thing about the discipline, because for me, it is the discipline by far that is what will get us to the other components. Great, but when you don't have the discipline and the determination, guess what? Nothing is going to happen. Because what I want to, the example that as she was talking, that came to my mind is those footballers, most of us will say, oh, football, they're paid so much. Do you know how many hours they train a day? Do you know the cold that they are in every day? Winter, cold, they are running, snow, rain, whatever, they are in it. You see, but some of us, what do? I'm tired every day. You see, I think apart from what we have said about the affirmation, the other affirmation or vocabulary that we should take out of our speaking is I'm tired. Don't just mention that word. Like anytime you think about you feel that you're feeling tired, tell yourself, I am a winner. Replace that. Because until we kind of build that resilience in ourselves, it's going to be challenging. Thank you so much for that. I will give you permission to ask questions shortly. Blessing is gonna be speaking. So Blessing Yakubu is my first daughter, and this young lady started social media presence when she was 16, and she has been able to build her Instagram account. Obviously, she's in school now, so everything is no longer what it was. But of course, the fact that when we're talking about discipline and determination, that is what she did in terms of building that that following of over 20,000 people on Instagram, sharing ideas with them regarding skin and beauty and hair and all that. And of course, for us as Africans, me in particular, being able to speak was always a problem. It's not that I didn't have anything to speak about or I didn't see things that I could talk about, but the fact that culturally I was not allowed to speak. And so for me, the thing that I desperately wanted to do for my children was to give them the permission to speak. Whatever it is, they must speak. And by God's grace, they are both speakers. Even the son, my son is, my son's courage, sometimes I look at him and I'm like, thank God. I didn't have what you have, but I thank God that for where they are in terms of being able to speak and being able to do the things that they have done. Now I'm going to find Blessing and I'm going to pin her on the screen so that she can share with us. Blessing is going to share with us marketing. Now, as I was talking earlier, the challenge for most of us is to be able to market, to be able, you see, I was recently reading The Secret of a Millionaire Mind, and one of the things that he talked about, the wealth file, was that wealthy people are able to promote themselves and they're able to share their ideas. Now, this is a big challenge for most of us because, again, if you were like me growing up and not having the opportunity or not being allowed to speak, guess what? When you are grown, you have to learn it. And some of us have done, and I hope that, you are learning from here to be able to do the same if you are not already. Anyway, so Blessing Yakubu, over to you. Thank you so much for being here, young lady.
Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well and have been listening to the previous speakers and what's been going on. Please bear with me. I've got a bit of a tickly throat today, but it shouldn't really stop me from presenting. Won't anyway. So hi everyone, my name is Blessing Yakubu. I am a student. I'm currently studying business and marketing. And I have quite a history with social media and social media marketing. Like Mum did say, it has slowed down a bit since I've been to university and kind of just been figuring out other things, but I'm still glad that I have it in my background and in my history. So for me, like Mum said, my account is beauty. For me, I've always been interested in beauty, in makeup, quite a girly girl. When I was younger, my mum did put a ban on me. She didn't let me wear makeup because she thought it would affect my self-esteem. I guess you hear stories about girls who start wearing makeup young, and then as they grow up, they don't feel confident going outside without makeup. So I think that's just what Mum was trying to avoid. But obviously, as a young girl growing up, that was something I was quite interested in. So it was quite upsetting, not being able to explore that part of me. But I kind of changed my focus in what my interests were. During that time, I was like a young teen, so my skin had started to break out. It happens to most of us when we're young. My skin would break out. I'd have skincare issues. So obviously, to try and remedy this, I would spend hours online just searching up different ways to improve your skin, different products to try, different face masks to do. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of them were hit or miss. Some of them just didn't work, other ones did. And I just remember wishing there was an account that I could kind of follow along that posted skincare products. I'm also going to go back a bit. So one thing I wasn't allowed was makeup, and another thing I wasn't allowed was social media. So no Instagram, no Facebook, no Twitter. I'm going to be honest with you, I have no clue how to work Facebook now. Honestly, I think maybe if I'd have joined it 10 years, I'd understand, but Facebook, I just don't understand it at all. But yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the main ones I wasn't allowed on. And I'm going to be honest, this is quite sneaky of me to do. I actually decided to download my own Instagram account anyway, and then just keep it hidden from my parents, which, shouldn't have done. But you know, you're gonna find ways around sometimes. And you know, there weren't really many beauty accounts that really posted anything to do with skincare. But I mean, I kind of shelved it because the only reason why I had Instagram was my own personal account. So I wasn't really interested in, you know, growing an account. I didn't even know what that was. As time went on, mum kind of started on her whole, you know, social media marketing journey, and she encouraged me and my sister Vanessa, who is speaking in 2 days' time, I believe. She encouraged us to you know, get our hands in there, you know, try social media marketing. So when we started off, it was actually a joint account. It was a hair and skin and a beauty account. So me and Vanessa would take it in turns posting. I think I'd post like skincare and then she'd post about hair. But during this time, it was my GCSEs, so I wanted to step away and focus on that. And to be honest, beauty wasn't really Vanessa's interest at the time. It wasn't really something she wanted to do. I'm not sure if she'll go into her Tasty Time account, but she kind of ended up going into food and food blogging. So again, we stepped away from it. And once I was done with my GCSEs, you know, mum kind of encouraged me to go back to the account. I was a bit unsure at the time, but I figured, you know what, I'll give it a go. So I found a niche for myself, and then I just started posting away. Basically, I'll kind of go into the tips of what I did, tips that I acquired whilst I was growing my account. But you know, I just started posting a lot more, just doing all the things that I needed to grow my account. And within the first year of taking it seriously, I managed to reach just, yeah, I managed to hit about 10,000 followers, sorry, 10,000 followers, which was, you know, a crazy moment. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like this many people follow me. But to be honest, I kind of just use that as almost like the fuel to keep on going. So it just really encouraged me to keep on growing my account. And then at that time, mum suggested, you know, the next step when people grow accounts is to see whether they can, you know, make money from their accounts, how to monetize their accounts. So after that, we stepped away. How do we monetize a beauty account? I started offering my services to small businesses. So, you know, just send them a little message that I could do a paid promotion for them. Send them my stats, my insights, so that they could, you know, see things like engagement and how well I could actually get my followers to visit their accounts. So did that for quite a while, and then eventually I started to get people to actually say yes. So I started doing paid promotions, which was really exciting, something I never really thought I would be able to do, you know, because again, like I just started the account with the intention of growing it. I'd never really thought of myself as an influencer or anything of that sort. So I just kept on doing that. In the meantime, so now time has gone on a bit, and I would say this was about 2020, was when mum came back to me again. She said, you know, you and Vanessa have been doing a lot. How would you feel maybe going to churches and talking to other young children to kind of inspire them to do what they're doing? Because, and I'm sure Vanessa will talk about this, whilst I had my thing with my paid promotions, she was getting invited to restaurants. Me and her would literally go and eat for free, and all she needed to do was like take pictures of the food and then write like a little blog. So we both had our own things going on, and we both agreed. So it was March or February 2020. Me and Vanessa had our first ever speaking gig, which was really nerve-wracking at the time. But you know, you've got to keep your game face on. We spoke about why we kind of, well, I guess like I'm doing now, how we got into what we're doing, and then also getting monetized from it, but also kind of just reaching out to young people and saying, you know, when you ask a young person now, what do they want to be? They'll say something like a YouTuber or a vlogger or someone like that, someone on social media, an influencer. So clearly they're seeing people already who are doing that. So it was kind of like me and Vanessa were just there to inspire them to be like, you know, if these people can do it and make money, if me and my sister have been able to do it and make money, then you could too. Literally all you need is your phone. So we did that, and unfortunately, as I said, it was March 2020, so lockdown happened and we couldn't really go around to churches anymore, which was unfortunate, but that just meant we moved on to Zoom. So we started doing talks on Zoom, and again, just kind of reaching out to young people, to churches. During that meantime, my mom came to us and said, you know, we're sat at home, we don't really have anything to do. You guys have a lot of skill, you know, a lot of knowledge in social media. Why don't you create your own courses? So me and Vanessa spent lockdown creating our own courses. I focused on growing I focused on growing an Instagram account. So starting from, you know, 0 like I did to, at that time, I think I had 20,000 followers. So, you know, I'd grown my account quite a bit and I'd learned a couple of things along the way. And then Vanessa focused on, I think hers was, I'm not too sure, but Vanessa did hers as well. Hers was monetizing your passion. There we go. That's what Vanessa did. She monetized and I showed you how to monetize Instagram. So, you know, during that time, whilst most people sat at home doing nothing, binge watching shows. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I binge watched a couple of shows too, I'm going to be honest. We also spent that time just creating our own courses. And I'm sure you guys have kind of come across online courses as well. And it's very easy to kind of look at the finished product and be like, oh, wow, okay, that's really cool, you know. But there's like a lot of work that goes behind creating a course. You've got to sit down, brainstorm your ideas, plan out what you're going to do, chapters, modules. On top of that, then, you know, you move on to filming. So for me, I did a lot of screen recording on my phone, and you know, you'll record that, then move on to editing to make sure the videos are succinct before then putting them onto a funnel, which was something that me and Vanessa both learned, which, you know, was incredible, because how many people my age can say they know how to build a funnel, you know? But we did that. We created our own courses, we launched them, which was really exciting. And because of that, we were actually given the opportunity to go on to an online TV show called Omega Live. So the host, her name's Beatrice, I call her Auntie Beatrice, obviously. She invited me and Vanessa down onto a segment called Young and Prolific. So that basically looks at young people and what they're doing. So again, me and Vanessa got an opportunity to sit down and speak and kind of share our message as well, which, you know, is a really big platform for us to be on. And because of that, I then was given the opportunity to actually run the social media account for Miss Ghana UK, which again was incredible, because, you know, that's such a big pageant. I actually saw the live final last year, which was again like a really big production put on. So to even run the account for that was incredible. And, you know, these things I wouldn't have been able to do if I hadn't have grown my Instagram account and got it to the following that it was at. So the highest I've got it to now, because like I said, I've kind of slowed down a bit, I've taken a step back, but the most followers I had was about 29,000 followers. So, you know, I think it's quite easy to say that and you'll be like, oh yeah, like 29,000, but, you know, Wembley I think seats about 20,000 people. So when you put it into scale like that, and I mean that's a big scale, but even if you have an account with 50 followers, just think of it as there's 50 people in a room that, you know, want to hear what you have to say. I can name drop that I had 29,000 followers, but it didn't start off like that. You know, I always say, like, celebrate your small wins. If you're sat here now thinking, oh my gosh, I actually want to try growing my Instagram account, don't get discouraged that you're going to have not a lot of followers now, because when we got started, even just 10 followers would be like a celebration, like, oh my gosh, we got 10 new followers. You know, so celebrating the little small wins kind of kept it easier to keep on moving forward, even when you'd post a lot and then you wouldn't really get much engagement or anything. So that's just a little backstory into me. But I'm sure now you want to know how I was able to do what I did, how I grew my account to what it became. So I mean, I kind of go into this in my course, but I focus on 3 different aspects. So it's actually the account itself. So sorry, it's 4 different aspects. So you've got the account, so making the account suitable for people to follow, suitable to actually be an account where you grow it. Then the second one is content. So obviously once you have an account, you need to have content that you're going to be posting, what type of content you're going to post, where you're going to get it from. Then it's all about engagement. So the actual steps to grow your account and to kind of make your account more visible. And then lastly, you've got monetizing. So I'm gonna, you know, just briefly go over each little section and kind of just explain to you. Like I said, if it is something that you're interested in doing, then these are like just great steps for you to kind of follow along. So the first one would be account. So making sure, you know, you have a suitable username. Whenever you make an Instagram account, it's probably going to start you off with, so if I was going to use my name, it'd be like blessing135867. Like, that's not really an account that people are going to remember. So obviously, once you make an account, you want to edit it so it's your name, blessing.ukubu. Or if you can't do it, just find a different variation that works. Also, whilst I'm on that point, make sure that your account's name follows in with your niche. So niche is a very big thing, which is essentially what your account is about. As I said from the beginning, my account is a beauty account. I didn't post anything on there unless it was beauty related. So, you know, beauty with blessing, you know, it's pretty explainable in the name what the account's about. So just think about that when you're creating your account. Then you want to look at your bio. So to be honest, I probably should have had my Instagram account up, shouldn't I? But anyway, sorry. So then you have your bio, so just a little biography about what your account is, what you do, just any tags, things like that. And then I think that's it. Yeah, and then when you're starting off, also just look for other accounts that are similar to yours and follow them as well too. So then the next step would be content. So content is, you know, what you're going to post about. Like I said, make sure you have your niche, because once you have your niche, it'll be a lot easier for you when you're finding content or creating content. So for me, I was more of a content curator. I would find other people's content, and then I would repost it. But if you're going to follow that, just make sure that you give credit to wherever you got the content from, because people will get on your case. People will, even if you're small, they will. They'll be in your comment section like, please tag so and so, and it's like, yeah, you know, let me not argue. Let me just, you know, edit, apologize. But, you know, just to avoid that in the first place, if you're grabbing content from other people, give them credit. If you're creating your own content, obviously, just make sure that it fits in with your niche. Take your time. If you're taking pictures of yourself, make sure the lighting's good, you know, just things like that. Moving on would then be engagement. So this is probably the most important part for growing an account. You can have like great posts, you can have a great, you know, your username and everything, but if you're not actually engaging with other accounts and making yourself visible, then no one's going to come to you. So what I did during the beginning stages of my account is I joined engagement groups, or if there's none in your niche, you can create them. So that was basically, I joined a group with a bunch of other accounts that were kind of posting the same things that I would post. The moment I would do a post, I would send it to the group account, and then I'd say, like for like or comment for comment, and then the participants of that group would then go on to my post, like it, comment, and then I would do the same for theirs. And then that would obviously tell the algorithm, hey, this is quite a popular post, send it out to more people, send it out to people who aren't following this account. So you know, if you've got your Instagram now and you're trying to grow it, just easy things like commenting on your friends' posts, commenting on posts you liking things, you know, sending things to your stories can be a really good way of engaging with other accounts. Another thing that I did was do giveaways. So, you know, you have a product that your followers might want. Again, because I did beauty, I just did a couple of skincare products. But depending on your niche, you could, you know, maybe do, if you're like a coach or something, like a free session or something like that, you know, something to entice them. And then just make it as simple as a like this post, comment, tag your friends, and then share on your story. And then that's a good way of just getting your giveaway out there and then making people more aware of your account as well, which is obviously what you want to do with engagement. And then the last thing I would do, just a quick step over into stories, is do engagement activities on your Instagram stories. So if you go on there, you can see you can do things like polls, quizzes, questionnaires. So you can simply go and tell your followers, ask me anything you want, or you know, answer this poll or do a little quiz, just something that, you know, when someone's, you know, on their phone scrolling through their stories, actually makes them pause for a second to engage with your account before they go, oh, actually no, let me see what this account is posting, for example. So obviously when you do things like that, you grow your account. Whilst I'm on this point, I'm just going to say there's never really a good number at which you should wait to start monetizing. Because for me, I waited till I think I had 10,000 followers before I started monetizing. Whereas I know Vanessa had about 500 followers and she was monetizing her account. So it just depends on your niche, really, and the engagement that you get with your followers. Because with Vanessa's, I mean, I did engagement, but she did engagement times 10. She used to, you know, wake up at 6 a.m., just go on her phone and be engaging with other accounts, which I've always said, you know, you've always got time to engage, but waking up early to engage is definitely not something I could do. But yeah, so it really is whenever you feel like you've got good engagement and a good following, and you can also check online to see what niche is when you should start monetizing, depending on what niche you have. So there you go, on to monetizing now. So for me, I would look for the rates that other accounts like me were doing. So obviously, like I said, follow accounts that post similar things to what you do, see what their rates look like, you know, how much they're charging, and then base it off that. A lot of the companies that would reach out to me, they would want like a post, you know, a post on my story or on my Instagram, with a caption that they've written, and then, you know, give me a set time. So then I would make sure at that set time, you know, set my alarm for it, make sure that the post was ready to run, and then when the time went, send off the post. See now, hashtag ad, otherwise you might get in trouble. So, you know, if you're ever doing a paid promotion, make sure you do a little hashtag ad. But yeah, just put a post out there, or sometimes they may ask for a story, so you again, just when the time comes, post that out. I did get a couple of free products, which was quite nice. So again, you could probably negotiate with companies to see whether you could get free products, because I did get a couple of skincare products which I got to test out, and then, you know, just post about, write my own opinions, which is another form of monetizing if you can't, you know, get it monetarily too. And then lastly, oh gosh, I wanted to talk about one more thing, but it slipped my mind. yeah, I think I'm done then. If it comes back to me, then I'll let you guys know. But it's slipped my mind now.
That's
Ooh.
fine. Thank you so much, Blessing. Really appreciate you. Would you want to say a little bit about influencer?
Oh yeah, so I kind of lightly brushed over my course. So my course is called Insta Influencer. So like I said, it's all about, growing your account. So I do it off the lens of, just wanting to grow your account to monetize it. But you can also use these tips if you want to become an influencer, you want to become a voice in your space, then it's the course for you. Like I said, it's got the 4 aspects. So setting up your account, then it's got, where you're getting your content from, your engagement, and then monetizing it. So I kind of just go through the whole of Instagram from start to finish, especially for I know a lot of people don't really know how to use Instagram for a business or to make money. A lot of people use it for their own personal, but how many people can say they actually could make money off of it? So it goes from the very, even just setting up your account, putting in your password, logging in, just kind of being overwhelmed, to actually being able to post and engage with other accounts, and then, like I said, monetizing at the end.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Blessing. I will take you, I'll remove you from the pin. I'm so grateful. Thank you, everyone. It has been an incredible time. I don't know about you, but I think it's been very informative. Yes, I can see a wave from Veronica. And as Pastor Maureen was talking about, people buy into you. I can testify that most of you have been my customers and clients, and to have that relationship going for me is just amazing, and to help build ourselves and progress together is incredible. Now, if you listen to what Blessing has said, thank you, Pastor Catherine, for the wave. If you listen to what Blessing was talking about, again, it is the sense of discipline that is the theme that I can see in terms of that, because here is the thing: whatever it is that you want to do is not going to just happen. It won't just happen overnight. It won't just happen because you've started. We, especially when it comes to the online space, because a lot of stories that we hear, a mom sat in her room and decided on XYZ and is become a millionaire. We buy into that story, and these are outliers. It is not because that those stories haven't happened. It has happened, but of course, not everyone will have the same opinion or the same progress, quick progress in life. So you have to wear your the 3Ds, your decision making, your determination, and indeed being disciplined on top of that as well. Now, I'm going to open the floor for questions. So I think I should unpin myself so that I can see the hands that will go up in terms of asking questions so far. So put in the chat if this has been useful. If this has been useful to you, can I see, I'll come to you in a bit, Pastor Catherine. Can I see in the chat if this has been useful, if what we have heard so far has been useful? Yes, Pastor Maureen says very useful. Who else has found it? And Mrs. Mensah, it has been useful, of course. Veronica, I know it's been useful. Every aspect of this. Thank you so much, Sister Nancy. It's been useful. I'm really, really grateful for those of you who are still present at this point. Now, I'm just going to open the floor for questions, because what we have heard, obviously, we didn't have time to really ask questions, but I believe that some of us do. And Pastor Catherine, if you can unmute yourself, please, and then ask your question. either to Pastor Maureen, myself, or Blessing.
Hi, Blessing. Hi, Sister Bertram. Thank you so much for putting this together. It's such a wonderful time. You know, it's been so exciting, very informative as well. Thank you so much for Pastor Maureen as well and yourself. I just want to ask Blessing, I know she has a course before. How can we get hold of the course? And if somebody wants to work with her, what do they need to do?
Yeah, hi, Pastor Catherine.
Hello.
So I can
Whoever is talking in the background, please, can you mute yourself? I would appreciate it so much. I can't even see who that is. Can you mute yourself, please?
I keep talking
Or maybe it's Pastor Catherine. Okay, go on, Bless.
You have something going on in your background, Pastor Catherine.
Pastor Catherine, is it in your background, please?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, I was just saying I can get the link for the course and put it out. Yeah, let me find the link for you.
Okay. Thank you. Any other question? Does anybody have a question for Pastor Maureen? That was a very powerful question. I mean, a session as well in terms of leadership, how we can keep us think about being determined, especially thinking about decision making, determination, and also being disciplined, especially taking hold of or trying to get ourselves into that zone of, making it imperative for us to grow as leaders in business, in our personal life. So any question, the floor is open for us. Any question?
Maybe for me to just add as well that I do run personal development courses for people if they're interested. And I do have a program coming up 3 Mondays from November 13, 20, and 27th, which is for people who want to get strategic in their thinking, critical thinking, developing the skills for critical thinking, decision making, being strategic. What I've discovered is so many people talk about strategy, but strategy is within a certain context. People brainstorm and they think it's strategic thinking. It's not. People plan and they think it's strategy and it's not. And so just to put that out there,